I'm the Bruiserweight Pete Dunn, and you're listening to the Union Smack podcast.
Slam Pigs Union Smack right here at Vicky TMD. We are back. No, it's not retro this week. Finally, it's current UK programming to review. Alongside me as always, Matt Tennant. Welcome back. What a week it has been for the show. We'll get to that in a little bit. But how have you been? How was your week? Where can everyone catch you?
Yeah, great to be back, Travis. Another week over, another week done. And you can catch me on Twitter at The Perfect Tenant. And you can buy our inaugural Union Smack shirt at unionsmack.bigcartel.com. And in the middle of next month, Travis, you'll be able to buy the official Hibiki TMD shirt from the same shop. That is coming middle of July.
Exactly. Speaking of that, speaking of shops, speaking of sales, Big Cartel, all of that, Matt, I know real quick, there's something special going on in the month of July, which kicks off next week. Go ahead and tell all the listeners what we're up to.
We have got an official / unofficial sponsor in our good friend, the man who I think we can credit for being responsible for this podcast, Travis, for putting us together.
Our Vince McMahon. It's official. After the bombshell video he sent us this week, which you guys saw, Pete Dunn officially endorsing us. Yes. Our Vince McMahon. Shout out to this guy.
Yes, Rocky, we love you on Union Smack. And Rocky is going to sponsor the channel. And more importantly, he's going to give you guys a free shirt if you can complete our little challenge, which will be, starting from next month, we are going to drop a keyword into every podcast we do for the month. It will be repeated several times, so you have to listen out for it. Listen carefully. Then you either DM me or Travis on Twitter. Tell us what the keyword was, and then when the month is up, those who got it right will be entered into a draw to win a free T-shirt, which will be paid for by Rocky, who is paying for the T-shirt and the shipping to you wherever you are in the world. So how amazing is this guy? He's just wonderful.
Yeah, on a personal note, in all seriousness, because I know you're listening, because you asked me earlier today when this episode's coming out, Rocky. Thank you so much, man. It means the world for everything you've done for the show, the channel. And after almost 4 years, Matt, finally say my first official contest giveaway. So there you have it. Stick around. Next week it kicks off officially. Slam Pigs Union Smack keyword T-shirt giveaway. Check it out. Man, I'm jacked. I'm jacked for the month of July.
Me too.
Speaking of jacked, it is so refreshing, like I said at the top of the show, not to review retro this week. This has been such a long time coming, but we got some news as always. We're not going to dive in first. We're going to put our toes in the water, get to the news as always. So what's been going on in the world of UK Graps?
Well, officially, Travis, and thankfully, this is now the first week on Union Smack you don't have to say, and again, no UK show. Because this last week, during the two-night tournament, which we are about to review in a few short minutes for you, we got the announcement that we are getting NXT UK, finally. And that will be the UK brand that WWE have been promising us for a year and a half. It's took them long enough, Travis, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But finally, we've got it. And I'm not going to complain about the amount of time it's taken because, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, tapings begin end of next month, July the 28th and 29th in Cambridge, England. August the 25th and 26th at the Insomnia Gaming Festival in Birmingham at the NEC. October 13th and 14th at the Plymouth Pavilions. November the 24th and November the 25th at Liverpool Olympia. and possibly, Travis, a possible date in Margate that we mentioned a few weeks back.
Right.
So
the lovely city of Margate.
City, you're God, my God, you're sucking up to it a bit.
Sorry, Wasteland. No, shout out to you guys in Margate. Matt, are any of these shows coming around your area? You're gonna try to catch anything?
The Cambridge one at the end of next month is maybe an hour away from me. So, financial, it depends. But I would hope to get to one of them. I can't miss this opportunity. Liverpool probably, because it's closer to Manchester, where I'm half based at the minute. Half based in the north of England, half based in the south of England. So I'm going to try everything I can to get to at least one of these tapings, Travis, because this is phenomenal. It's like I'm so excited about this news. I feel like a little kid again.
Now, Matt, I know off air I said there are some things we're going to talk about that I'm probably going to have some disagreements with. We might clash heads on this episode. This is one of them. How long has it been, like you said, at least a year and a half, right? So we got finally an official announcement instead of just these little sporadic specials. You got a year and a half, and you come up with NXT UK or UK NXT. What? I mean, yeah, I get it, but I feel like it. I don't want to say it's piggybacking off the NXT name, but why not? I mean, hell, you could have called it Union Smack. I would have been pissed, but it would have been better than just calling it NXT with a little UK PNG logo on it or whatever. I don't know. I feel like it was uninspired, maybe borderline lazy. I don't know. Does it confuse the consumer also, the casual? Like, well, which fucking NXT is it then?
I mean, I can see your point, but what other options were there? WWE UK? I mean, it might have been better, but then I think the NXT brand has obviously become the most successful brand in WWE, and this is Triple H's opportunity to roll it out further. It's his opportunity to take it from just America and go, oh, we've now got an NXT in the UK, and we'll probably have one elsewhere in a few years to come. NXT Spain or NXT France or NXT whatever. I wasn't too keen on it when it was announced. I think I messaged you on Twitter and said NXT UK, what's this? But since then, it's grown on me. I think it's a smart idea to not piggyback off the NXT brand, but I think it's a smart idea to incorporate it somewhere because the brand is so successful. Had it been called WWE UK, I think there would have been a lot of people looking at it and thinking, oh, is it going to be like the main roster then? People who haven't seen this, people who will be introduced to it new next year when it airs finally. So I think putting the NXT brand in front of it is fine. It's done for the purpose of, opening it up to more people who would, probably would have ignored it had it had WWE on the front of it.
Yeah.
So do you know what? I'm fine with that, Travis. But I mean, yes, it does piggyback off the NXT brand, but it's going to be solely UK stars. So I think very quickly it will distance itself from what's happening at Full Sail.
Could you ever see American talent making its way to the road? For some reason, I know you're going to love this. I can see Drew Gulak being added off of 205 Live on NXT UK. Not really a place for him in American NXT or the main roster, which I think is ridiculous. Drew Gulak should be on the main roster right now. He's great, but I could see him being there.
It's possible. We know, or at least we theorise from the poster that went out on Twitter today. We're recording this the night after it went out on the network, that Toni Storm will be hanging around, and she's not British, so I think they're going to keep stars around who aren't British but who hold a name value, around the world.
Well, not just, I didn't mean just worldly, I meant just strictly no Americans on this. Which, even though we just saw Adam Cole and stuff.
I don't think so. I think they're going to pop up sporadically. And I think that'll be fine, as long as they're not a John Cena, as long as they're NXT American stars. Yeah. So I wouldn't be averse to it. We've got no announcement yet whether, the NXT UK brand is going to have its own takeover shows, or if they're going to be merged with the American takeover shows, which I suspect will happen for a while, until it gets really successful. So I can see Undisputed Era, a few others, War Raiders maybe, popping up on NXT UK now and again. But you can't make that a regular thing. You've got to keep this strictly UK. And if they're coming in, it's going to be for a one-off appearance to do something. Or
on the takeover sentiment, I can see them totally doing that too, because God knows they love their long pay-per-views now, and that's an excuse to make takeovers longer also.
Yeah. But then again, I'm not moaning about takeover being longer. Like, if takeover was 4.5, 5 hours, and main roster pay-per-views were 2.5, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, we see it with New Japan every time they have a pay-per-view or whatever. It's not the length that detiers it and makes it. It's the filler WWE uses when they're given lengthy pay-per-views. At least New Japan. I know New Japan's booked totally different. It's just match to match to match, but still, that's a marathon, and somehow New Japan holds up show length wise. It's possible. And give me an 8-hour takeover show any day if it's good. I'll watch the shit out of it. I agree, Matt.
Exactly. 8-hour takeout. 8-hour takeover compared to 8-hour WrestleMania. And beats it hands down. And that's WrestleMania we're talking about.
The tag could be, it's taken over your life because it's so long.
Yes. Well, Travis, speaking of that, it's like I sent you another message on Twitter saying, there's a heavy rumour that was started by something Shawn Michaels said that they're thinking about NXT main roster cross-brand pay-per-view. So maybe we'll get that. Maybe.
That's a bad idea.
It's so terrible, isn't it?
That's like having for your dinner, you have this filet mignon or some nice ass steak or something, and your side is microwave French fries. It's just not going to make a good meal. Half the meal you eat.
This is Vince McMahon's attempt to go, let me see what I can do with these guys. No, let's not. We've seen what you can do with these guys when they come up to the main roster on a permanent basis. It's there's no need to kill their heat or interest before they even leave NXT.
Yeah. Matt, moving on to the news this week. Here's a shocker. Maybe first time ever on the show. Pete Dunn in the news this week.
A little bit of sarcasm I detect there. Yes, Pete Dunne is again in the news this week, not just for what he did last week at the UK tournament, but today officially, Travis, he has been UK champion for 403 days. That takes some doing, And I know Punk's done it before and Lesnar's done it, but I don't regard Lesnar as a proper champion because, he's barely around. And
Pete Dunne is a throwback to an NWA champ. He's a world traveled champ.
Yes, he goes everywhere with that title. Literally everywhere. He was in Singapore with it just last week.
And there's our window. Here's our chance to kiss some ass. Thank you so much, man, to the Bruiserweight himself, Pete Dunne, for the video. You guys saw it, and on this episode too. It's awesome. It's mind blowing. Doesn't feel real still, but I just wish I could have seen you when you first saw the video, Matt, and your reaction. Did you jump literally?
Jump! I nearly pissed my pants. I was so excited.
I knew it.
And that's not an overreaction. It was honestly, Travis, I just got back from a 5-hour coach trip, which wasn't meant to be 5 hours, but I'm not getting into that because it was terrible. And I'd sat down at home and I turned on Twitter, and Rocky had just left this wonderful video for me, and I clicked it and I thought, what's this going to be? And then I was like, oh my fucking god! And I was buzzing for 2 days afterwards. I'm still buzzing today. It's them sort of things just don't happen, and yet they did. So Pete,
he even did a lip snarl and everything for us. So shout out to you, Peter.
Amazing. Thank you, Pete, if you're listening.
Exactly. So and without just small, off of our small time asses getting a shout out from Pete Dunne. What was actually Pete in the news for again this week?
403 days as champion today, and just off the back of that, I would like to say I'd like to see him hold on to that title for a length where he actually breaks Brock Lesnar's streak now. Because, do you know what? We know it's not the same title, but fuck it. If everyone on Twitter can go ape shit over Brock Lesnar's beat CM Punk's record with a different title, then we can do it, Travis. You know,
Exactly.
I hope Pete Dunne goes 500 days with that title, beats Brock Lesnar's record, and is the longest reigning champion of the modern era.
And spoiler alert, guys, Pete Dunne did successfully defend his title, which we'll talk about later. So he is the face carrying the belt for the start of the show. In hindsight, being 2020, what you said on the previous episode, I got to totally agree. I feel like if it would have been anyone else, it wouldn't have that. He's just killing it. He's the guy. You saw it on the reaction on the shows we're going to review later. It's just incredible what this man is doing for British wrestling. I know it sounds kiss-assy, but even if he didn't give us the video, I'd say the same thing. He's like, he's on another level. He's this incredible hybrid performer that you can't quite put your finger on to describe him. And that's the best kind of just thing to have as far as being a professional wrestler. All the top guys had that intangible.
Yeah. Do you know what? And I'm going to go as far as saying the British Ric Flair. Like, from what he's done in the ring to how he's represented the title that he holds and the brand he, fights for worldwide. There's no one that touches him right now in the UK.
Yes, and another way with Flair, it was so easy to always turn him face or turn him heel because he was over as a face no matter what if they did it, and as a heel he killed it, and that's kind of like Pete Dunne too. He's good either way. It works.
Yeah. I mean,
especially when it's in the UK. My God, treated like Jesus Christ.
Can you blame them? It's do you know what? I've run out of words to describe how good Pete Dunne is. And for any long-time listener, they know it's not kiss-arsey because I've said this probably every show how good he is we've ever done, Travis. Even last year, it's like
I can vouch. 100. Even off air, Matt nonstop talks about how great Pete Dunne is. Russell.
There you go.
What's not to like in the guy? I feel like anyone that said, "I'm not a fan," or "I just don't see," I feel like they're just being contrary. It's one of those can't miss guys right now, like a Velveteen Dream. Just my God. Yeah. Tyler Bate also. Yeah. We'll talk about Tyler Bate a lot later.
We will. And another quick note on Pete Dunne. Him and Millie McKenzie, who are the current Pro Wrestling Revolver Tag Team Champions, will defend those titles against the besties in the world on June the 29th at Fight Club Pro International Techers in Wolverhampton. So, there's still tickets available for it, just standing room only, I believe. But if you can get your hands on, tickets for that, go ahead because it's going to be amazing.
Just put Zach Gibson on the card. People have no problem standing up. And that's another reason I wanted to start the show with you from the very beginning. Discovering things I didn't know. I've looked up Millie McKenzie since we talked about her in like an episode or two ago. And did you see the clip of her in like a dance-off I saw on Twitter?
I haven't seen that.
It was a triple threat women's match and a dance-off broke out and she purposely did bad dancing that put Emma to shame. It was great. So she's so young too. She's going to have a big future. I could see her in WWE UK in maybe a year or two.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think, giving no spoilers away, I think she's shoo-in for the next Mae Young Classic as well.
Yeah, I could totally see that. News-wise, Matt, anything left on the plate?
That is it. We are ready to delve headfirst into our first current review, I think, in the history of the show, is it not?
I believe you're right. I think the very first episode, I want to say, we just talked about it. It was a couple months before. Yes, it is time. The UK tournament, Night 1, Night 2, is now in the books, on demand, on the network. Yes, we know they should have aired it live. We're not going to be negative off the bat, because even for tape shows, which is very rare, you can go back to the 80s or 90s, tape shows always had less of an appeal as watching it live. It just didn't translate. But sometimes, when done right, it was incredible. This was a case of that. What a night, 1 and 2, quite frankly. Both of these are good. I recommend both of these before we talk about any of it. Go out of your way. You're going to discover a lot of new talent you didn't know, and you're going to have fun watching it. It flows just like an NXT episode. Even Night 1, which only had one match with NXT talent in it. Well, 2, sorry, but still. Night 1, though, Matt, this year a little bit different. It was a 2-night thing last tournament, but this one, the whole tournament ended Night 1, and they did it. And I got to say, it went off without a hitch. Not any real duds, except maybe the women's match. It kicked off. The little vignettes, but it was very well done, showing Johnny Saint, the new GM of UK NXT.
Yes, I very, very much enjoyed that. Johnny Saint, like when he was just walking out into the empty arena, like this is where I fought before, So good. It sent like tingles down the spine.
You know what it reminded me of is back in the
brilliant
day
way.
when they
Go
do
on.
this with like Freddie Blassie and a little. That's exactly what it
Yes.
reminded me of.
Yes. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. The set, very nice set, but I mean, if you're going to edit it so we can't see the plethora of empty seats, Travis. It was like that was for me the only thing that made the whole first night look bad was that it couldn't sell out the Albert Hall. We knew that beforehand. We knew there were tickets still available the morning, of the taping.
Yeah.
But do something so it's not visible on TV. A tighter camera angle. Concentrate on the sections of the audience that are packed.
They try. I feel like they tried to do that because I noticed that too. I'm like, oh, they're doing really tight shots, which makes sense. But sometimes they go wide for no reason, and I agree. And also, when you put, these two shows back to back, as a consumer, you see, well, I can go to the one show and pay just as much to see a bunch of guys I don't really know, or go to like NXT the next night. And I feel like night two had more seats filled, which translated better on television.
Yes, it did. Night 2 sold on the back of, the NXT stars and obviously a potential title change. But do you know what? We're going to get to that in a minute because I cannot commend not the hype for the title match because we didn't really have, a hype as far as champion and challenger went because we didn't know who the challenger was going to be until the end of the first night. But like, that title match, I'll get to it later, Travis. I won't shoot my load on it now.
Well,
but
let's get right into it. Let's start with what the tournament night 1 kicked off with. Jack Gallagher, thank God, not in Robin Hood tights. Actual Jack Gallagher again, going out there against Liverpool's number 1, a man we're going to be very accustomed to talking about on this episode, Zach Gibson. Which, talk about heat. This is the Roman Reigns of the UK tournament right now.
Yes, only people love to hate Zach Gibson. I think people just generally hate Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Jack Gallagher, I knew Zach Gibson was a good wrestler off the bat. I haven't watched too much 205 Live at all, since it began. So I've only seen Jack Gallagher on, the odd pay-per-view and obviously the Cruiserweight Classic when he wrestled over here in the UK and Raw. And you know what? I think Zach Gallagher did hear what he should be doing or should have done in 205 Live for years. It's like he made up for all the shitty booking and being held back in this 20 minutes. It's like he was so good. Like, so fucking good.
Yeah. You got to think, too, he's probably just relieved and happy to be there. I can also picture him when they announced this coming up backstage, him going to, like, management saying, can I please be a part of this? Because he's probably so fed up with 205 Live.
Do you know, I hope they're bringing him permanently. I know he's a main roster name, whatever, in WWE, but this is where he belongs, like, back on the British scene. And you could tell that Triple H didn't say to him, wrestle this style or keep it how people know you into it. He just go out and wrestle.
And that's the key factor in shows like this in NXT. You can tell when guys aren't shackled. They're just go out there and do what got you over in the first place.
Yes, exactly. And that was the case with Jack Gallagher. Like, the shackles were off. He could do what he wanted. And honestly, a complete night and day to 205 Live, Jack Gallagher.
No fucking umbrellas, none of this Mary Poppins bullshit. Go out there and beat the Jack Gallagher from Progress and all these other promotions that got you signed in the first place.
Yes.
That's what always blows my mind. They sign these guys off of shit that work. They sign them and then they give them shitty shit that doesn't work. It's like, God, I don't mean to have my cornet come out already this early, but it blows my mind when we see a performance like this. And I gotta hope that's true what you said, that he makes his way off of 05 and goes to the UK and just let him be this Jack Gallagher. And if you're going to send him to NXT UK, don't give him the umbrella. Just let him be this, honestly.
Yes.
These two guys, I don't know if they've had a lot of matches with each other in the Indies ever, but they complemented each other really well in this match.
They did. I think they've had a few matches, but what a great match to kick off with. I watched before this came on Monday. I sat and watched the whole of the first round. I should have done it before Travis, but I didn't. Jack Gallagher as well. Really good match with Drew Gulak on NXT to qualify for this. Like, really, really good. So I think Triple H has seen what Jack Gallagher can do, and I hope he comes to 205 Live, because they were 205 Live, sorry.
To the UK.
NXT UK, yeah. Because this was really technically flawless. You know, and I love that little bit where he vaulted over the top rope and then Gibson caught him in a sleeper hold choke. Yeah. You know, that was just...
That was incredible. I had never seen that
wow.
before. He's probably done that in Progress or other, but I had never seen that. That was one of the spots of the night on night one. And that Triple H knows. Triple H knows what Jack Gallagher could do. But the scary thing is Vince doesn't, and that's the lost in translation thing with the main roster stuff, you know. But nonetheless, and you know what? We forgot to mention Mauro Ranallo on commentary with Nigel McGuinness. Both did a great job, but God bless Mauro Ranallo. We know his biggest flaw is his pop culture references. You know he loves calling a Zach Gibson match because there's any way to bring up the Beatles you can. He just does. The Ticket to Ride, all this shit. He just loves his little references. But
he does. But then again, that's the name of one of Gibson's moves, so it's like, it would be naive of him not to call it.
Yeah, it's like Mauro saw the script, he's just like leans back like, oh, this is great. I get to make all
heaven. I'm in wrestling heaven.
Jack Gibson getting the win, tapping out Jack Gallagher with his submission maneuver. Shamla Gates, it's nasty looking, very nasty.
It is. I was surprised, like, by the name of it, Shankly Gate, but then it's Liverpool, you know, and Bill Shankly was a famous Liverpool football club, you know, player. Rocky will know that. He's a massive Liverpool fan. So, and I think Jack Gibson. I'm so excited, Travis. I can't even get their names right.
Zach and Jack. I mean, it's easy.
Zach and Jack. I think
it should be a tag team. Fuck it.
Along with Jordan Devlin, is going to be like the heel of NXT UK. Like that's obvious.
Totally agree. We'll talk about Devlin. Is Devlin actually in the next match? I can't remember the...
No, next match is Joe Coffey and Dave Mastiff. Which...
when we didn't know the results yet, we were kind of blown away they put these two pitted each other in this early in the tournament, right? We thought they'd be on different ends, I think we said.
Yeah, I thought this would be the final of the UK tournament.
But now looking back, I'm glad it wasn't, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, nice surprise that it wasn't, actually. I say we, Travis, I moaned about this last week and the week before. But actually, they did a lot in this tournament to surprise us, you know, and it worked well. For once, a WWE surprise really, really well. I don't think this would have suited the final, the way they went at it and the way they fought.
No. If you got a guy with the heat, I don't know if that was an audible either, like they changed the booking, but they had to go with the heat, and Gibson was the perfect call.
Yeah.
But this match, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It just, what they had just followed for one. For anyone unfamiliar with Dave Mastiff, I said it on Twitter, imagine Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens having a kid. It's literally what he looks like to me. He's got the stalky short build of Owens with like this monster fucking Braun stuff going on. And it works for him because he does Owens moves too, like the cannonball, which looks good.
Do you know what looks better than Owens' cannonball? For me, like he takes off almost halfway into the ring and lands perfectly.
Hey guys, unfortunately his plans will be in life, plans go awry. I don't know what happened in the second half of our review of Night 1. The file corrupted somehow. Unfortunately, it cut off right after the Dave Mastiff talk. I don't want to bullshit you guys, don't want to hold anything back, just letting you know what happened. Stick around, I'm going to take a quick break. All apologies, but we do have the full actual review of Night 2 right here. Slam Pigs Union Smack. Unprofessional as usual. My bad. Fix it next time. Stick around.
Hey Colin, did you get the cardboard cutout of Consul Kev?
Did I ever? It's amazing.
Oh, I think so too. I hate that guy. Kevin, what are you doing here?
Just eavesdropping on all the bad things you say about me. My usual Wednesday.
Oh, well, did you at least prepare for the Retro Gaming Podcast?
Absolutely not.
Oh, God, that figures. Alright, it's okay. I'll take it from here. Basically, We pick a theme every time, and we pick a number of games based on that theme. You know, just like our first episode where it lasted forever and we talked about space games.
Yeah, and other good, all the mainstream systems and games you love, like the 3DO, the Atari Jaguar.
Oh, come on. Colin, you back me up here. The 3DO is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were friends. I mean, it's cool. Alright.
If you want to hear three guys talk about games that are bad because JD picked them all, and good games that Kevin picked, join us.
Who here wants to see a bunch of nerds talking video games with a little bit of anime thrown in there? Nobody? Just me? Damn!
Well, speaking of anime, Colin, we have an anime cast as well.
Yes, we do. All retro anime. Many of which I have never heard of myself. And I'm a weeb!
Very similar premise there. We pick a retro anime, at least 15 years or older, and we review it every episode. We also keep up on all the modern stuff, all the seasonal things from the year. Hey, Kevin, you just got back into wrestling, right?
I did.
Oh my god, did you know we also have a wrestling cast that just started?
I do now, because nobody tells me anything.
Ah, well, what do you think of the big dog these days?
He still sucks.
Well, that's good. Well, luckily, we just don't complain about WWE stuff. We also talk about a lot of the latest and greatest from the rising indie scene, New Japan, and Ring of Honor.
I like rings and honor.
Well, you should definitely listen to the Red Leaf Retrocast. We have such a wide range of topics, ideas to discuss, and just anything to review. It's fantastic, don't you guys think so?
It's alright!
Absolutely. And thanks again for the Sailor Moon episode. That's got me a lifetime supply of salt for my fries. From the fans. Ha!
That's the Red Leaf Retrocast. All things gaming, anime, and wrestling, found on all your favorite podcasts.
And we're back, Slam Pigs Union Smack, right here at Big TMD. It is time for Night 2 UK NXT Special. Matt, are you ready to delve into, in my opinion, the better show of the two?
Yes, and again, I say this every week, Travis, about probably everything we bring up. But again, I can't disagree with you. I think removed from the tournament action and with the NXT stars sprinkled in, it was much the better night. And you know what, some of the best matches this year, I think, on this particular night of the show.
Most definitely. This one coinciding with NXT talent. Mauro Ranallo on commentary saying it's WWE NXT versus NXT. Just basic bitch NXT, I guess. No American NXT. Yeah, it kicked off a perfect way possible. NXT title match. Mustache Mountain getting official music in Titantron now. That horrible Tyler Bate music is gone. Nowhere in sight. Yeah. Against Undisputed Era, defending the belts. I got to say, flat out, from what I've seen in the last few months of Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly's been the MVP of that group as far as just in ring. I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah. He's such a good worker and such a workhorse as well. I mean, let's not take anything away from Roderick Strong, but I don't know. Kyle O'Reilly has the it factor, I think. It's just a shame that he's not of the build or the look that Vince would use on the main roster. Right.
I mean, he is good as he is. He's a goofy looking fella, and he's very lanky. I feel like his legs are made of jelly. Like he has magic legs. I always focus on his leg movements because I don't know what he does with his body, but somehow that's like the focal point. But it works for him between the air guitar and all that stuff. But what can you say about this match? This may have been the best match of the entire two nights up there, in my opinion. Also,
yeah. I mean, this was tremendous, and let's not forget, this was Undisputed Era's third excellent match in 4 nights. They just had TakeOver on the Saturday, and that excellent bout against Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows I love Danny Burch, top talent, who I hope they might bring into this if Oney Lorcan is going to be out for a while.
9 months, I'm hearing, for Oney Lorcan.
Wow. What would you do with Danny Burch now, Travis? It's like the momentum from that team's gone. Yeah. So, do you push him as a single start, or
call me crazy? I'd keep him where he is because I feel like if you bring him to the UK NXT, he's going to take a seat back to a lot of guys. A lot of guys. I feel like he'll stand out more where he's at because he'll be one of the few UK guys there.
Yeah.
But another case of what do you really do with him right now?
I mean, I would like to see him versus Adam Cole at Brooklyn. But
is that the big money match though for their biggest takeover of the year? I don't think they would do that, and I'd love to see it.
I think it's either going to be Ricochet or someone else. I know it's not going to be Velveteen Dream or EC3 because they're slated to go against each other at Brooklyn. It's not going to be Ciampa. It could be Gargano, but I would love to see it because after what Danny Burch put in at TakeOver, that he can do it. He's a great talent, technically, another technically flawless wrestler, and fans are behind him. Chicago crowd of dicks. They treated him like shit, which he didn't deserve. But I just think, you know what? If you build Danny Burch now strong, he could do it. He could. And I want to see him in that spot. I want to see him put on a 20-minute classic with Adam Cole, even if he doesn't win, because I think that would just be amazing.
Plus, he retweets all your stuff, Matt, so there you go. That always helps. Shout out to Danny Burch this week. He retweeted, like 4 of your tweets? That was awesome.
4 or 5, yeah. Thanks, Danny, if you're listening. Probably not.
Maybe
thanks.
in 6 months to a year, there's just not enough time, I feel like. They've just done nothing with him as far as, as singles. I mean, he's been in the tag team. It's a bad break when your partner always gets injured. Sometimes that's the best thing to happen for guys, though, so hopefully it pays off. He's too talented not to see anything happen for him. But
he is, and he's been on that NXT roster a long time, well over a year and a bit now since the first tournament. And he wasn't used well because he hadn't signed a full-time contract, so he was basically a jobber.
Right.
But now he has. Like, we were just starting to see the embers of a decent push with Oney Lorcan, and now it's been derailed. So I hope they don't just drop him back into the mid-card of NXT to be, the Cassius Ohno, who fucking needs a drastic alteration.
This match was perfect from bell to bell, in my opinion. I will say, standout moment, the insane superhuman strength of Tyler Bate. O'Reilly on his back with a mounted sleeper. While applying this, Tyler Bate still gives a back German suplex, I believe, to Roderick Strong, lifting both men up at the same time. It's a sight you got to see to believe. Oh, my goodness, Matt.
It is. And do you know what? This is another one of the matches, Travis. You could watch it 10 times and not be able to find a flaw in it. It's just so good. Yeah. Everyone rose to the occasion. Undisputed Era are undeniably the best tag team in WWE right now, main roster or NXT. I hope they keep them together for the long haul. I just thought Mauro Ranallo's line was slightly misplaced in the middle of it all, where Bate is bashing away on Roderick Strong.
It's not as bad as fucking quoting Sublime when Undisputed. Summertime and the living is sleazy. God, stop it. Stop it with your 90s song quotes, Mauro. The match was great. New champs. Place went insane. Shockingly, Mustache Mountain got the win.
Yes.
Flawless.
Great win. Sadly, we know now that it was literally just for the shock value.
Spoiler alert, guys. Here it comes.
Yeah, spoiler alert coming up. Mustache Mountain have lost the NXT Tag Team titles back to O'Reilly and Strong on the last week's NXT tapings, which we will see, at any point over the next month. We don't know exactly when the date, it was recorded for, but they will lose them back. And it's a shame this couldn't have lasted till TakeOver. This is another rematch I'd have liked to have seen on TakeOver instead of just NXT television.
Maybe we'll still get that. Maybe they'll get a rematch. Who knows?
You think?
No. I don't think they'll do it. Personally, they'll probably go like Street Profits or have him show War Raiders. Who knows?
I think it's looking War Raiders.
This was done strictly to get Mustache Mountain on the radar with fans who weren't aware but are fans of NXT, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. And do you know what? We're getting a UK tag team division with new UK titles starting next month. Why not just allow them to hold on to the titles and either trade them in for the UK version or lose them back at TakeOver, and then, do you know what I'm saying?
Are we going to have multiple tournaments for all these titles again? It's like they're going to be one for the women's now and the tag. That's too many tournaments. Come on.
Triple H said it wasn't going to be. What am I saying? Yeah, Triple H said it wasn't going to be immediate. The titles aren't going to be introduced, straight away on the first show.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to have tournaments for both of them. I think it would maybe not like 16 women, 16 team tournaments, maybe just like 4, or maybe they'll whittle down the British tag teams to a fatal 4-way tag team match. But yeah, in some way or form, we're going to get a sort of tournament for both sets of titles.
They'll just Dusty Classic it, make it a little tournament, and be done with it.
Yeah.
New champs,
Yeah.
which is fine. Second match, surprisingly, I didn't even know Killer Kelly had another match.
No, this wasn't advertised. This was thrown on the night against Charlie Morgan, who, in every way possible, from what I've seen so far, is the British Bailey.
Yeah, but a hell of a better worker, I feel like, than Bailey, just spot wise and.
No hugs though. Shane.
There's some work to be done with both women, but I feel like both have tons of potential. I'd go Killer Kelly though. I just think, like I said earlier, she still jumps off the screen for me way more than Charlie Morgan. She just got it. She just needs seasoning. That's all it is.
I think there's a long way to go with the UK women's division as well. From what we've seen over the past few nights, I think if that division is going to stand out like the NXT women's division did, depending on how you view it now, they're going to need a lot more solid names and solid workers in there. Because honestly, this match, it wasn't spectacular. It was better than the triple threat we got on night one. Still wasn't great. If anything, the one thing going through my mind watching this was that almost everything looked planned, and that shouldn't look that way. It should look flawless.
It did.
There
It did. From the leg sweeps, Killer Kelly was like a delay. Notice that.
It was just, they were waiting for each move, and
they're definitely going to have to.
It didn't click.
They're definitely going to have to get some Millie McKenzie's in it, because Isla Dawn isn't going to get it. I'm sorry, that's not. I mean, she's good, but you need to retire. You need to have someone on the level of Toni Storm, because that's going to be the face, obviously, of the women's division. But who is that? Yeah. Who is that antagonist? Killer Kelly could be that, but not now. That's not her time. I feel like
it's not. But I, judging by the flyer we mentioned earlier that went out on Twitter today as we record this, I believe Killer Kelly is on that poster, so she's sticking around as well. It looks like.
Good for them, bad for WXW. I don't know if she's going to stick around with WXW because she's one of the, the top attractions there right now. But
yeah. I just don't want. I don't want an NXT UK women's division filled with foreign wrestlers, though. What does that say about the British scene if we're having to draft in Toni Storms, Killer Kellys, etc.?
That's such an elitist standpoint on it, man. I'm just saying, we don't want you outsiders and fucking no. But another side note here: Killer Kelly's mom competed in the Royal Albert Hall, Miss Universe, Miss Portugal, right?
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned.
Yes, yeah.
That's got to be cool for her to.
Didn't we get several mentions of that? Like they were trying to hammer them. I'm sure.
Well, it worked because I just remembered it out of nowhere for the fuck.
We'll add that to our useless bits of trivia.
Digging deep for some filler here. No, but I just thought that was probably really cool for her to go back, and that could have led to some nerves too that we saw here. Not her usual work rate that I see in.
No, it dropped. It dropped like way low, but under the radar of what she's capable of. And I've not seen Charlie Morgan before, but I'm assuming she's better than this as well. Like. I don't know. There was just something about the women's matches over these 2 nights that just did not resonate.
Yeah. Is it time once again for some more red hot, rambunctious, zany Johnny Saint promos, Matt?
Yes. Oh my God. Do you know this could possibly be his best botch ever? And I know he's going to make more of them. That's a given. But this one. This botch got a chant from a crowd that would have probably usually booed it.
Good.
Okay, so what we're basically doing is what is meant to be a triple threat match for the number one contendership to face the winner of this night's championship match. It was meant to be Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and Travis Banks. All three get in the ring. Johnny Saint comes out and says, what does he say? Anyway, he says he's changing the matchup and he's turning it into a 4-man fatal. How can you fuck up the name of this match? I'm assuming he was literally looking at his script 10 seconds before he walked through the curtain.
I mean, they can give Triple H some notes for some house shows. You can't let him write it on his wrist or his cufflinks or some shit. I mean, the man's 75 years old. Here's a hot take for the listeners and you this week. Worst promo, Vern Gagne or this guy, Johnny Saint?
This guy.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, great wrestler, terrible on the microphone. But then, like we were saying before we started recording this, Travis, in his era, there wasn't a lot of call for, massive promos or even, a lot of them frequently because it just wasn't done. It was just literally wrestling. So I suppose he can be forgiven somewhat for that. But he's going to have to work hard.
Yeah, I mean, remember Bruno Sammartino as like a commentator? I thought that was bad, but this makes that look like, God, he's Jesse Ventura out there with Gorilla Monsoon or something. This was, and it didn't help that every time Johnny Saint talks, God bless him once again, it feels like it takes 2 years to get the point across, and I'm falling asleep.
Yes.
It doesn't help I'm watching these late at night to cram it in for the shows. I'm like, come on. I don't want to hit fast forward on the network on you, Johnny. I don't, but I did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. But the fourth time I saw Johnny Saint, I can't take it. I need to cram this shit in. No more Johnny Saint.
Do you think there was a better option than Johnny Saint? I mean, I know why they went with him, classic British wrestling, etc.
I think it's time to mix it up at GM-wise on American NXT. You put Shawn Michaels there, you bring Regal over to UK. That made total fucking sense.
Was just gonna say that to you.
Why
I had
not?
that written down.
There you go. Osmosis. Didn't plan that, guys. Matt and I just know each other like that.
We do. William Regal would have been perfect for this role. He gets to come back home every month. He gets to do maybe the minimum of 10 minutes work. Because let's be honest, the general manager is not going to be seen that often. We rarely see the NXT general manager now. So they're not going to be wheeling Johnny Saint out every 20 minutes of every week.
He'd be exhausted, poor man. He'd have to lie down.
He'd have a heart attack, poor fucker. But saying that, he's 75 years old, Travis, and only semi-retired. He still wrestles. So I hope that's not fuck. I've just thought, I hope that's not why they chose him.
You know what? Hell, bring Norman Smiley up and make him the general manager. That would be better right now than Johnny Saint as the GM. Because he's still working.
Screaming demon.
He's a legend in England.
Yeah, I suppose he is, but I don't know. Regal would have been a better choice for me. I think it's just like one of these horrible British stereotypes. It's Johnny Saint was a wrestling legend in England. Let's make him general manager. He'll resonate with the audience. Well, yeah, he was. And it's nice to see him have a role in like the future of the product, etc. But would you not have tested this stuff out before? Like his promo skills, and would you not have said to him, he was in the Performance Centre in 2016.
He was a coach.
Exactly. For I don't know how long, but he was. Would you not have said to him, could you just stand in front of that camera and talk?
Bring up fucking Robbie Brookside. I don't care right now. Anything. He used to wrestle Johnny Saint, so it works.
Do you know what? Dave Taylor. Where's Dave Taylor when you need him?
There you go. Where's Finley? Where's all these goddamn legends from the UK? Bring any of them up. Any of them. I'm Finley, and I love to make matches. That was the Fatal 4. Speaking of sprinkling stuff in, a surprise return of a jacked guy. Got himself in tremendous shape since he's been injured. Noam Dar, who was announced here. Glad he didn't fuck up the name Noam Dar, though. That was a plus.
Oh my god, it was. not the greatest reaction for Noam Dar, Travis. Like, he got a good reaction, but Scottish guy, sprinkled in amongst the southern crowd. What are you going to do?
This is a
They're not going to cheer him.
progress heavy fan base as opposed to ICW heavy. That's just
Yeah.
location here, logistics, and I feel like had it been flipped, it would have been totally different reaction.
Yes, I agree. I think Noam Dar was the wrong choice to enter into this match. I'm going to assume, Travis, if this NXT UK is successful and the tapings go into 2019, there will be tapings in Scotland and Ireland and Wales, etc.
Yeah, I can see that.
You could have bought him back then. There was absolutely no need to do it now. And I don't see why, because, yes, he's got himself in great shape. He's a really good wrestler. Been held back on 205 Live before he got injured. I feel like it was just a decision made for, the sake of a shock return.
No, devil's advocate, though, I feel like because they might have those dates coming up, they make him return now, that they sell more tickets that way for his bigger fan bases in those areas. So I could see why they did it, but I see both sides, I guess. But I think business, money talks, bullshit walks, at the end of the day is why they did it.
But at the end, can you see Noam Dar beating Pete Dunne for the title? Because he's now number one contender. I can't. I would have preferred Travis Banks. You could have got a longer feud out of that. It's just, honestly, it makes no sense to me. And I can see the business standpoint, I know Noam Dar's probably got a lot of fans in, fuck, I forgot where they're going. Where? Yeah.
Scotland.
In Birmingham and Liverpool and Plymouth and... Cambridge. Why am I saying Cambridge? It's a fucking small town. Anyway, I'm sure he's got a fan base there. But bringing back fight, make him number one contender. It makes no sense at all. Like, for me, it was a decision made for the sake of making a decision.
There's better options right now. I agree to make a new number one contender. I don't know if not making Banks sad leads to like his obligations with Progress right now. Also conflicting schedules. I don't know. Not wanting to deal with the headaches of scheduling around. I don't know how they think with that.
Well, the thing is that they said this was a number one contenders match, and the winner would get a shot at whoever went out of Pete Dunne and Zach Gibson later in the show, but they didn't specify when. So
yeah.
I think, that's the loophole, isn't it? You don't specify when, which means you could have given it to Travis Banks because there's not a set date you have to work around him for.
Right.
It's, I don't know. It was a good match. It was full of action. Noam Dar, from certain angles at certain points, looked like Fandango, like with his fucking bouffant hair shit going on. But yeah, it was a good match.
That's really weird because I'm not making this up. I've had Fandango's theme stuck in my head since I woke up today. That's really weird. I'm not lying. Go ahead.
Do you know what's even more weird? I had trouble sleeping last night because I couldn't get EC3 song out my head. That
1%.
top 1%. Oh. Yeah.
We've reached a new low here. I'm admitting our little theme song.
It's not in the top 1% EC3 when you can't get out your fucking head and you're tired. So
I know it's not an NXT show, by the way, but you brought it up earlier with EC3. I think that's such a dumbass decision if they want to keep him babyface to put him up against one of the most over guys in NXT at Brooklyn in the Dream, because he's going to get buried by that crowd. No one's going to cheer against the Dream in that match. Sorry.
No, I agree. He should be a heel anyway, shouldn't he? Let's be honest. That character, that gimmick, it's a built heel magnet.
The match was okay though. This actual match, Noam Dar getting the win, like you said. Don't get it, but whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? Even worse decision. He pinned Travis Banks.
Right.
Like, pin Mark Andrews. He means nothing anymore. They've buried him so fucking deep. He's Mark Andrews. He's got a 90s teen romantic drama entrance music, which I can't stand.
That's his actual band, isn't it?
I have no idea.
It is. It's his actual band. It's their song.
And they put out shit like that. Right. Well, I'm not buying that CD anytime soon.
I don't even think they have a CD out, Matt.
No way. You shocked me, Travis. after the match, we get a sneak peek at the NXT UK Tag Team division when the Coffee Brothers attack everyone apart from Noam Dar. And they look fearsome, Travis. It's like they look like the UK Authors of Pain, you know?
They did. This was great. It was surprising, and it came off without a hitch.
Yes. And I'm calling it now. They're going to be the inaugural NXT UK Tag Team Champions.
Them and Mustache Mountain are going to be your first feud.
Yes. Yeah. The title will be traded between them a few times. And I think that's the right decision, because then it gives Triple H time to find, source, build other tag teams, just like he's done with NXT. So I have no problem with that.
It's can't miss feud right there.
Yes.
Where did that take us to next, Matt?
That took us to. Hang on, I've got my shit
Page
mixed up.
flip.
That took us to. Don't give our secrets away, shush. That took us to Adam Cole versus Wolfgang for the NXT North American Championship, and another one of the noises. It was fine for what it was. For me, it was a marginal step up from what you'd see on weekly NXT. Like, it was nothing special.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, probably, I don't know whether he was more over than Pete Dunne, but certainly one of the most over guys of the two nights.
Wolfgang had his fans, and he had a few. He got the raw end of the deal in this, booked against the most. And this is what I talk about every week on every show I get a chance to about Adam Cole. As great as he is, they got to be careful with booking a top heel like this. Nobody wants to cheer against him right now. Nobody.
Yeah, I agree.
And Wolfgang didn't stand a chance as far as crowd support going. I like Wolfgang. I like the big guy. I think he's visually, he's intimidating looking. He can work his ass off for a bigger guy. I've seen him have fucking hardcore wars over there in ICW, just destroying himself. So, and he does like parkour like Seth Rollins. The guy's talented and great, just didn't stand a chance going in. And the match did. It fell a little bit flat. Not terrible. Just should have been for the stage this was at. The grandiose spectacle of the Royal Albert Hall. Just expected more of Adam Cole in a singles match.
Yeah. And I know they wanted to do the whole NXT US versus, NXT UK, which was fine. I would have put Wolfgang in the number one contenders match and put Mark Andrews in this, if that is what they wanted to do.
Or just make Noam Dar return for this. Adam Cole had a mystery opponent book going into this, something,
Do you think Noam Dar would have... Again, it comes down to the region thing. Like, Wolfgang, Noam Dar, Scottish. They were not going to get cheered that much.
Fine, Danny Burch. Just make it Danny Burch.
Yes. Do you know what? A man after my own heart.
It should have been, actually. Nothing. Why wasn't this Danny Burch? But whatever.
And then you could have done the story that we came so close to capturing the tag team titles from Undisputed Era that I now want to cost them their last remaining piece of gold. That would have been much better. And this would have been match of the night had that been Danny Burch, not being biased.
But it wasn't. Adam Cole getting the win pretty decisively. And that was it. Go home happy. Adam Cole fans.
Yeah, and there were a lot of them there, all chanting for one more Bay chant after he'd done two already. Though, can I just say, really bad editing work, because the first one he did, it was played underneath the replay. Like, you couldn't see it, you could just hear it.
Yeah. Shoddy keyboard.
Shoddy pricks.
Was it the NXT tag team match next?
Yes. Black and Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream and EC3. And I really enjoyed this. Anytime I get to see Ricochet, it's a highlight. Velveteen Dream for me, I didn't like him. I thought he was a cheap rip-off of Goldust when he first came in. Since changed my mind. He's proven a lot to a lot of people, I think.
All four men in this treated like stars, getting great reaction. Crowd chanting, "This is awesome," before the match even started. And for just a throwaway house show tag team match, fans were into it. I don't know if I expected. It was pretty much exactly what I expected. I've seen fans complaining "Oh, this match was a dud." It's pretty much what I envisioned in my head it would be. It's just a basic ass tag team match.
Yeah. It wasn't takeover worthy. Let's be honest. But
you want to save the good stuff for the takeovers, and that's why they didn't put it all out there in this.
Exactly, but it's not, and we're not. It's not to say they slouched either, because they didn't. Ricochet did some good stuff. Velveteen Dream was very good. I loved the bit where he got on the turnbuckle, was gonna jump, and then went, "No, you're not worth it." That was wonderful.
Yeah.
EC3 is like, tone the tan down before you take out someone's fucking retinas with the color of your skin.
Speaking of tans, real quick, because I'm not going to remember it. Drake, goddamn Younger, the ref on this show, his spray tan, I don't know if you called it, was distracting at times. It is so bad. The back of his head is as pale as me, but his face is so dark, it looks like a mask. Is it me?
It's not you, no.
Holy shit. And even like my casual viewing ass girlfriend who points that out and notices it immediately when she walks into the room. That's not good.
I think does Drake, what's his name? Drake Wirtz or something, isn't it? Something like that.
It used to be Drake Younger in like CZW because he's a former wrestler.
Yeah. Jesus
Christ.
He must spend at least 5 hours every day under that tanning bed. Like he's I'd say he's about 5 tans away from being Jamaican.
It's the worst. And how does nobody in Gorilla or nobody back there pull him aside and just wipe it off with a baby wipe? Something. You're not going out there like that. You look like you're wearing somebody's skin on your face like Hannibal Lecter. It's so dark. I can't take it.
It reminds me of. Do you remember? I can't remember what SummerSlam it was. It might have been Triple H versus Booker T when Triple H came out mostly all orange.
07
to cover up the sunburn that he got.
Yeah.
Like, just paint him fucking orange. Why not?
Yeah.
Didn't look odd at all, did it? Let's be honest. Dear God.
You know it's not an Adam Cole match when you're talking about somebody's tan.
That is true. Oh,
Where did that take us next? Hopefully not to a tanning bed, Matt.
The result of that match, Velveteen Dream walked out on EC3. That began their feud, which we will see continued on NXT this week and going into Brooklyn. They sort of teased the Ricochet Aleister Black thing. They just at the end where he sort of looked at the title and thought, I want it. But we're not getting that, Travis. We're getting Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa at TakeOver Brooklyn. You'll see that again in the coming weeks. Can I just say, before we move on, I don't want Ciampa to be champion yet. I know he will be probably at some point, and he's a built, heel champion. He'll get massive reactions. I want Velveteen Dream to beat Aleister Black for that title.
Yeah. Ciampa doesn't really need a belt right now.
No, he doesn't. He's so over and so hated that the belt would probably be ineffective on him. Like, it'd add nothing to him. But I think...
Good, sorry.
I think Velveteen Dream taking it off Aleister Black would bring that feud they started to a nice conclusion, because I don't believe that was the end of it. Aleister Black saying his name. It would just... I think it rings far better if he beats him for the title. And that will get a massive reaction, let's be honest.
Ciampa's credibility was established also just doing his heelish tactics. Velveteen Dream's pretty established, but to make it work, he always comes up short in matches. He needs a title way more than Ciampa right now to seal the deal and have him be credible, quite frankly.
Yeah, and it looks good. Like, if someone the level of Aleister Black is willing to put you over for the title, wow. That just legitimizes you to a whole nother level.
Exactly. Let's keep the train moving on this crazy-ass marathon review this week. What was next?
Next was the NXT Women's title. Shayna Baszler versus Toni Storm. And I haven't been such a big fan of Baszler. Maybe it's because she beat Ember Moon. And everyone knows I've got a thing for Ember Moon. But that's a different story for a different day.
Get in line, pal!
Do you know what? I wasn't into this until maybe the final 6 or 7 minutes. I think Toni Storm looks a star. She's going to be an even bigger star than she is already at some point. I don't like the little poster stoop she's got. Is it me that just notices that? It's like she's bent in the middle and her shoulders and head just sort of bend forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is that? Stand straight. Someone put a rod up her back or something. She's good. She's good. This became very, very slow before the ankle injury storyline came into play. Like, this was, I don't know, it lost me a bit, Travis, this match.
Right. Yeah, also the heels of what we'd already seen on the show. The tag title wins took a lot out of everybody way earlier on. But also, now when the ankle injury came into effect, it turned it around because the selling of Toni Storm was great.
Brilliant. Love the look on her face. It's like, it wasn't an actual scream, but it was the look of silent pain. And, the way she sells stuff, Travis, it's an art. It's an art a lot of wrestlers today need to learn, I think. Because, as soon as Shayna Baszler stamped on the ankle and Toni Storm's selling of it, that pulled me back into the match. I was sort of like on my phone through the first bit of it, just like looking back, and they were doing nothing. And then from that moment on, it was like, phone down, now it's getting interesting.
Yeah.
So I think they saved it in the final few minutes. I think when this result came through last week, I was keeping, for anyone who doesn't know, I was keeping Travis up to date with every result as it was coming in. We said, I said to him, Shayna Baszler won via count out. And to both of us, I think it both seemed a cheap way out. But watching it in progress, I think it was the right decision because they've definitely got a rematch in them on a bigger stage.
Right, and they didn't want to have a decisive loss for Toni Storm going in as the face of their new women's division either, I don't think.
Exactly. That would have put her sort of behind, Shayna Baszler. And I'm going to assume they're going to make her the inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion, and they don't want her looking inferior. So, have her choked out on the outside. Again, fighting. That did her a lot of good, Travis. Fighting out of it, refusing to give in rather than tapping out, and then just not being able to pull herself together to make it back in.
Yeah, I agree.
And did you catch old Tan Drake in the aisle telling Shayna to go back and beat her up for the post match?
Yeah, way to go there.
He ran up the aisle and went, "You've got to go back. You've got to go back." And she was sort of dawdling with the title, holding it up, and then she just fuck it and ran back.
Oh man. Baszler, I feel like she did fine here. Obviously not a fan favorite anywhere she goes. Crowd totally behind Toni Storm. We've seen both have way better matches though. And that thing we talked about, we're glad they didn't make Toni Storm lose here. It's kind of what happened at the Ember Moon effect. Like when she was NXT Women's Champ, she always seemed still number 2 because she could never beat Asuka. So it would have been the wrong call.
Yeah, it would have. And do you know what Shayna Baszler is? Didn't like her. To a degree, I think she's still got something to prove. I think a lot of people still see her as, she's there because Ronda Rousey, even though she signed before Rousey. There's still that stigma attached to her, I think. I don't think it's done her any favours signing the other 2 4-horsewomen. But she's got heel written all over her, and, I think the longer she goes, the longer she holds that title, the best we'll see of her.
Love or hate her, she's got the most experience pro wrestling wise out of all the 4 horsewomen. Yes. She's had way more matches, full matches, than any of them. Even though Ronda's really impressed me, I will say.
Yeah, she's impressed me. I will say Shayna hasn't had to have a 30-day suspension storyline made up for her for whatever reason, but when you're meant to be a full-time talent.
Matt, I am damn near spent. I'm ready to tap out myself to another skanky gate or whatever. Is it time for the main event?
It is a time for the main event. What did you just call it?
A skanky gate.
Travis is done, everyone. He can't even pronounce the moves right now.
I did it purposely, though.
It's just like main event, wonderful, blah, blah. Whatever the move's called.
We've gone almost 2 hours of trying to be as hyped as I can and retain some sort of semblance of professionalism, but I slipped up. Skanky Gates. Zach Gibson, Pete Dunn. My God. Talk about building up a guy within a day. And I felt like he was worthy going into this. By the end of watching all this, I was hyped for this. Even though I knew the result, I was still hyped. The way they shot them getting ready backstage, it was great. What did you think about the match, man?
And do you know what? This match, it did its job for me last Tuesday before I'd even seen it. Because I wasn't at home last Tuesday. I was in Manchester visiting, the woman I love, etc. And I knew this was happening, and I couldn't relax, Travis. I can't remember the last time it's ever happened with,
You're on pins and goddamn needles during this.
I was.
You're waiting on the spoiler result to come out even. You couldn't take it.
I was pacing up and down. I was unbearable. I couldn't rest. And, and that just speaks to the wonderful work that, they've done, that Pete Dunn's done, that I couldn't relax until I knew he'd won. And it sounds stupid, but I was that nervous, and that on edge and I've never ever been like that for a match since maybe. No, I can't think. I actually can't think back.
Last time for me was probably the triple threat at WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan. I was nervous because I didn't think they'd put him over during that match. Because there were times in that match I was like, they're not going to do it, are they? I thought Batista was going to win. So I was on the edge for that because we'd waited for that for so long.
And do you know what? Those moments in wrestling are just brilliant.
They're the best.
It's like not a lot of wrestling today does that. A lot of it's predictable. But I actually couldn't predict this because there was a part of me that thought, after I'd heard about the NXT UK announcement on night one, there was part of me that thought they might actually crown a new champion to start a new era. And it's like, I feel like I worked myself into a bit of a state just waiting for this. And the bastards, there was a website that put the results out match by match. And they didn't. They just put Pete Dunne versus Zach Gibson in progress. Even, I think it was 30 minutes after it was finished. There was no results. So I'm sitting there, I'm checking Twitter, and in the end, I had to tweet our good friend of the channel, Joshy Wrestling, and because he attended it live. And I had to I tweeted him, did Dunne win? And he came back to me 5 minutes later to say he sure did. And I was like, I can rest easy tonight now.
You're probably walking through the house, touching all the walls, going insane, not knowing, why is it taking so long?
Exactly.
Something happened? Are they okay? But yes, you can lay your head down tonight and every other night a happy man knowing Pete Dunne was the victor in this tremendous, hard-hitting match. Both the guys got all their stuff in. Another breakout here, the Skanky Gates by Pete Dunne. Good shit. I thought these guys complemented each other very well.
Yes, they
taking it all
do you know
in.
what? I think Zach Gibson will be the next champion. I know I said Jordan Devlin earlier, but when you
in due time
when you
with him.
when you roll all the evidence into one big huge ball, it's going to be Gibson next. And I think probably the perfect place to do it is the tapings in Liverpool. What better way to crown a new champion than
it's going to be like when Bret Hart was a heel and came to Canada and was treated like a hero.
Yes, and that would be awesome. That would be amazing because Zach Gibson, as it stands, is loved in one city in the UK, and that's the city he comes from. So why not?
As much as it'll suck to see Pete Dunne get booed like that, but he'll be treated like Jesus Christ again. That was it. Night 2 in the books. I got to give it myself this time another A. They knocked it out of the park once again, back to back. Solid shows, Matt.
Yeah, I'd give it an A+ because.
Ooh.
Do you know what? You can call me, one-sided. You can call me whatever the fucking word is. Do you know, Travis? We've gone for so long tonight. I'm out of words now. Without flicking through a dictionary or a thesaurus, I've got nothing else. A+. It was amazing.
That's the first time ever on Union Smack I feel like you've ever graded something perfect. Ever.
Do you know what I think it is? I think, casting my mind back, I think that's the first A+ I've ever given anything, but richly deserved. And do you know what? We can't top this. But next week we're going to try with UK Rampage 1993. And apologies to everyone who voted. We did put up 91 before we realised it wasn't on the network.
But guess what? There's no fucking 91, so our bad.
So next week, you can listen to us review UK Rampage 1993.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of us this week, Matt. We did it. We just did a 2-in-1. I'm proud of all you guys, the listeners. Once again, thank you guys so much for bearing with us. All you guys that have bought shirts, that have just given us all the positive feedback. You are the sole reason we do this. Thank you again to our main man, Rocky Baya, helping us out with the new contest coming up this month. Stay tuned for more info on that. Speaking of info, one more time, my friend, Maniac Matt Tennant. Haven't called you that in a while. Where can everyone catch you on Twitter and all that goodness?
Well, before I go completely hoarse and lose my voice, you can find me on Twitter at The Perfect Tenant. Do give me a follow there. Thank you to everyone who has in the past few weeks. You can buy our T-shirt at unionsmack.bigcartel.com. The official Hibiki TMD shirt will be available as from mid-July on there. So do grab both for the summer. You'd look really cool in them. And Travis, one last time, take us home.
I don't know if I have it in me. I'll try. As always, follow me on Twitter at @TheHibiki. Check out the Reset Button, Slam Pigs Podcast, This, Union Smack, Never Drew a Dime, Hibiki Pro, Sunset Strip with myself and Jenna Lee, and so much more goodness right here for your retro gaming, pro wrestling fix. Get it on Hibiki TND. Until next week, Slam Pigs, Union Smack, myself, Dean Tennant over here with his perfect fucking scores. We'll catch you. Until then, cheerio, mates.